Hey guys, it's Caleb from Brickloaf, and today we're going to be reviewing each of the figures from the Series 24 CMF series. Also, I'm going to be using the Bricklink names that they have given to each of these figures for identification, so let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start off with the Carrot Mascot. This figure has a double-sided head. One is just a grin and the other is an open smile. He's carrying a sign. He's got the carrot costume, a front and back printed torso, and dual molded legs, as well as an alternative orange hairpiece if you want to use that instead of the carrot costume. This character is pretty cool, especially if you like to collect the different food themed characters such as the peas in a pod or the pie characters and stuff like that. Next up is the Brown Astronaut and Space Baby. This is a new colored spaceman. We haven't seen the brown before, and he's based off the classic one, so he does have the classic space logo on his shirt. He's carrying a radio phone with a spaceman on the screen, which is pretty cool. The baby has two pieces. It comes with the head, which has the air tanks, and the helmet, as well as the bottom part, which also has the classic space logo on it. If you like the classic space sets and you've also been buying the recent space ones that have been coming out in the new gift with purchase, then you'll probably want that figure. Next we have the Robot Warrior. This character has a front and back printed head. Though it's only just one face on the front, you can see the back printing through the back of the unique helmet. This character really has a lot of great printing on the front and back of the torso, as well as the arms and the front and sides of the legs. A lot of these figures in this series actually have a lot of leg and arm printing as well, which is really cool to see. And there's also the use of roller skate pieces to make a cool space gun. The T-Rex Costume Fan is a pretty simple figure. It's got nice printing on the arms, the front and back of the torso, and the front of the legs. There's also the T-Rex head, which is really cool, and the tail. The head is double-sided. One is an angry roar face, and the other is a smile. Unfortunately, there were no accessories with this figure. The Falconer is tied for my favorite of this series. So the Black Falcon Knight logo is printed on the front of the torso. There's also arm printing. On one arm you can see that it's just a regular sleeve with a hand at the end, and the other one is a leather glove for holding the falcon. There's also an asymmetric cape, a falcon, a bow, there's leg printing, red hair, and a double-sided head, one side with a smile and the other one is a determined look. With a return to the old castle theme and quite a few sets now, this one's actually really cool because you can put it alongside those sets. And then the other figure that is tied for my favorite of this series is the Orc. He's got leg printing, front, back, and arm printing. There's a large soft molded jaw which you can bend. It's kind of like Yoda's head used to be. There's a hairpiece that sticks through a stud, a ripped cape. There's a sword and a shield with the old fantasy era Orc logo on it. This figure and the Falconer are really good for army building if you're interested in that. I also really think the printing on this one is amazing. Next up is the football or soccer referee. This character has a double-sided head. One side is yelling and the other one is smiling. Both of them have a mic coming down the side of the face. There is front and back printing on the torso. There's front printing on the legs. The character came with red and yellow cards, which are on 1x2 tiles. And the ball is the same one seen in the 2016 European Football CMF characters. The next character is the Potter. There is front and back printing on the torso, a front printed legs, double molded arms. There's also a goblet and a bowl on the table. I think it's really cool how the goblet and the bowl come in this clay color. The head of this character is double-sided. They're both smiling. One just has a little bit more of an open mouth while smiling. And the headpiece has printing on it, which is really cool. The Rockin' Horse Rider is a character you're probably going to want pretty much just for that rocking horse. There is front and back torso printing. The front one has a unicorn on it, and the other, the back side just has a little bit of the hood of the jacket she's wearing. There's a hairpiece, a single-sided head. The horse is the most interesting figure here. It does sit a figure on top of it, and when you don't have it placed on this 1x2 with a stud in the center, you are able to rock it back and forth, which is a pretty cool feature. Another one of the really great figures from this set is the Rococo Aristocrat. This character has a double-sided head, and it's a lot of printing on the front with a powdered face, but it does have an open and closed mouth smile. The powdered wig is a solid piece. There's a small dog, front and back printed torso, and a front printed base that she sits on. I also really love the base piece because even though it looks like a Duplo part, it is made for a minifigure. Next up is the Conservationist. This character has front printed dual molded legs with front and back printed torso and dual molded arms. The character does have a double-sided head, one with a large smile and the other with just a regular grin. And the headpiece is actually really cool. It's hair and a hat at the same time with printing on the front. And the character also comes holding a grass piece with a koala bear that can clip onto it. You can also sit the koala bear down on a stud if you want. And finally is the Newspaper Kid, and this one is again one of my favorites from this series. It's got front printed small and movable legs, front, back, and arm prints. It's got a yelling minifigure head, just a single side, a paperboy cap, which is a really cool headpiece, I love that one. He's carrying a pouch, a slingshot, and an extra printed tile on a 2x2. All in all, I think this is one of the best CMF series we've had in a long time. The characters are a lot more usable in things like castle areas, cities. You can put them in places and not just have random characters that don't make sense. I also think that the hair pieces, the printing on the torsos and the legs, it's all really worth it. Now we did also make a trip, and just a few of the things we picked up were the Magma Mech from Atlanta Brick Co. This only leaves me with 2 Power Miner sets that I don't have. As soon as I get those other 2, I will be doing a really long video on the Power Miners theme. We also picked up the 2021 Story of Neon from OP Tailors and the 2022 Lunar New Year Traditions from OP Tailors as well. And they do have really good prices on their sets. They are pretty much almost always the same price that they were when they came out on the shelf. They don't really go up at all. Additionally, we picked up a lot of spare parts from Atlanta Brick Co.'s Pick-a-Brick, and these are going to be for Star Wars projects and some parting out projects that we've been doing recently as well. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and let me know what you think down below in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all our newest content.